All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. All right. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me clearly. Somebody just say I can hear you, or if it's too low, if the music is too loud, one of the two, let me know so I can adjust this, please, before I get this thing going. If y'all hear me. Somebody let me know if okay, y'all can hear me. Is the music too loud? Oh, I know it's turned down now, but was the music too loud so I can know how to adjust that before I go home? Just want to make sure the music isn't distracting y'all. All right, let's get on into this. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Unscripted with Charles Dixon. All right. So today's a couple of questions. I'll start with this one about what are the real baby daddy boundaries? What are the real baby daddy? Oh, it was too loud. I knew it probably was too loud. Oh, let me turn it down. All right, I'll turn it off. I'll turn it off for now. All right. It's messing up my flow now. I need my music. Get me flowing now. Okay. Anyway. All right, really quick. So person one wanted to know what are the real baby daddy boundaries. I got a situation. These are the details. She's in a relationship, another relationship. He's in another relationship. They have children together. He has children elsewhere. So he has children elsewhere, and so if I'm not mistaken, he has two baby moms, if I'm not mistaken, and a girlfriend. So he's with the girlfriend, but he has these two baby moms. He has, a couple of two or three by one and one by the other. The story is, this is the dilemma. The person who, he kind of has the more children with, since this pandemic, he reached out and he was like, hey, I want to see my kids, and I want to spend time because I miss them, and I want to make sure they're okay during this pandemic. So, so she was like, oh, you can come see the kids or whatever. So he goes over there, spends time, and, sees them or whatever. And I'm not sure if it was a couple days, whatever the scenario, he was over there with them. So make a long story short, her dude who doesn't live with, the lady who let the baby daddy come over, her guy doesn't live with her, but her guy and her were discussing it. And when he told her about it, when she told him about it, he was kind of like basically he kind of had a little bit of an attitude about it, because he was like, oh, so the dude really wasn't being as present before this pandemic. He wasn't being as father-like or present before the pandemic, but during the pandemic, he's concerned about his children, and he wants to come over and be like, hey, I'm going to come over there and spend time with the children or whatever. So the baby mom didn't see the issue. She didn't see the issue, but the boyfriend did. So I'm asking y'all first, before I get into this, what do y'all think? So I'll say this really quickly. The baby daddy has two baby moms and a girlfriend. So he took a pause from the girlfriend and went to go check on the baby mom. The kids, right? He went to check on the kids and see, all that. But the issue is the woman who has the children that has a man that doesn't stay with her, he found a little issue with it, because he was like, look, dude hasn't been coming around he wasn't being father of the year before the pandemic. So now he's concerned about their well-being and all of this kind of stuff now. So y'all tell me, what do y'all think? Like, is the mom, I mean, granted, listen, when it comes to children, yes, I'm an advocate for saying if it's somebody's child, yeah, let them spend time, let them do it. Don't obstruct the visiting. However, this has always been a lifelong tricky thing. This whole how we spend the time and how it's done is real tricky, because at the end of the day, you got to be honest with yourself, number one, and you got to be realistic about the relationship with you and that person. If it was a situation where, in the past, because let's just be honest, in some of these baby mom and daddy situations, it's a lot of casual permission that's kind of unsaid. It's a lot of casual permission that's unsaid, meaning, look, it's a ton of people out here that got baby moms and dads, and they got relationships. And when there is the relationship they take seriously, and then there's the moment of family time that they desire. And sometimes in that family time, family activities happen all the way up to the bedroom. That's just the truth. It happens. So I don't think the guy was out of bounds for asking and saying, what's up with that, or feeling uncomfortable, because truth be told, if he really was that concerned, now, number one, it is a pandemic, right? It is a pandemic. And if this COVID thing is legit, like they're saying, it's being spread around. So number one, dad or not, you have not been living at the house. You have not been here with me and the kids. So I don't know where you've been. You got another woman, and you got another baby mom, and whatever else God knows you do around town. So I don't know if it's cool for you to, on just off GP of you coming over here, period. I don't care if it was let the kids come outside to your car. It's still exposure. So to me, the fact that he wanted to take the risk all the way to the point of saying, I want to come see the children in a day and time where we have so many devices as such. We have iPads, we have phones, there's video galore. So if you wanted to see them, you could have said, dial your daddy on that iPad and go over there and spend time with your daddy on the phone. It's the safest option. Why? Let's just be honest here. Why did she, what do y'all think? Do y'all think it was him? Or should we look at why she allowed him to come over there and spend some time and/or days with the kids, considering all this is going on, and she has a man? Why? This is what do y'all? But I'm telling you, I mean, look, this whole thing with we got these kids and all this stuff. You can video them on the phone. You don't have to be, especially if it's something that has to do with risk and your health. Then sit up there, let the kids sit in front of the iPad and talk and laugh all day. Well, she might say, why did she say okay? Why? No, she said that she was okay with it because she said she was okay with it because I asked her the same question. Why was she okay with it? And she said, I'm okay with it because he has somebody and he knows, even though he hasn't seen my person, he knows my particular, he knows what it is or whatever. But look, let me give you a news flash. Baby dads and baby moms for years on end. This goes back from Adam and Eve. Baby moms and baby dads, in case you haven't ever realized this, they always feel as though they have a pass among passes that goes beyond your girlfriend, your fiance, heck, sometimes your wife, if your wife don't have no children with you, if your wife don't have no children, if whoever has them children takes a whole nother level of entitlement. And it happens even at the relationship level. And you have some of the baby moms who really won't respect your relationship at all, or dads, because they feel like, look, I got a kid, so it don't matter. I have a reason to be there, even though my reason may be faulty. So she allowed it. He came over, he went there, he saw them, and they spent family time. No, this joke. No, he saw them, they went over and all this kind of stuff. So what do y'all think? I mean, because she was legit, she was speaking when she asked her question, she was just saying, I was just shooting her the message back, and she said, hey, I didn't want, ooh, okay, that's what. Come on, Rob, let the men start to talking. Robert Lee says, let's be real. The sister want to see the baby daddy, and this was a perfect opportunity for her to do that. Now, telling the boyfriend that the baby daddy was there means you not the one, you are just temporary until her baby daddy gets his head right. Woo! Boom! Telling you. Now, ladies, I'm not saying, me and Robert Lee are not saying this is the gospel, you know, but this is a strong argument of men's opinions. This is how the most level-headed, logical men are going to think. I mean, whether it is true, we're not saying that we know for sure this is the truth, but I'm telling you, this is the way men see it. If like you're saying, I mean, during this kind of thing like this, it wasn't timely. It wasn't a timely occasion to come spend time. And like I said on some of these other past shows, it's funny to me how when the world stands still, everybody can all of a sudden get their mind right when the world stands still. But when the world is moving, you doing whatever you want to do. You with your girlfriend, you over there, you seeing baby mama 1, 2, or 3. You ain't thinking about none of that. But when the world stands still, people have time to sit over there and ponder and say, I think I can, you know, I mean, let me go on over here because I do have a reason. It's just like walking around in your car and having a bunch of keys to different houses. That's what it is. The children are the keys. And you can take them keys and just say, if you got permission, you take the keys and you go over there. And what the mother doesn't realize is sometimes some of these shenanigans, mother or father, because it happens on both sides, but some of these shenanigans cause problems in your relationship and you allow them. When you allow that key to be turned just because of the children, you're allowing them. So that's why people have to be 100% honest with yourself where you are in the equation. This is to the mother. You got to be honest with yourself because a lot of times we can be mad and we can be in our feelings by a lot of things. But truth be told, there are some things that are more dear to the heart than we are honest enough to somebody said I'm calling DCFS. But anyway, we got to be honest to with ourselves as to what's what. Let me put Robert's question out here on. Let me put Robert's answer on there. On y'all see that again. This is what the man is thinking. This is what the man is thinking about when y'all allowing the baby daddy to just randomly come over and just be in your space. Look, a dad that don't want you. Let me tell you something. A dad that doesn't want you will say, "Hey, you think I can pick the kids up? Or can you meet me and take them and put them over here somewhere?" He's not gonna be worried about being in your house because he wants to respect his woman or his wife, and he knows he don't want the foolishness. So for him, he's just gonna say, "Let's go. I can meet you down at the courthouse. I can meet you wherever. I just want to see my children. I don't need to see you. I just want to see my children." If that's the legitimate thing. But when people want to come and encroach on your territory, that is them choosing to say, wait a minute, I don't want you to bring them over here to me and my girl and where I live, but I'm going to come and play family over there and disrespect your home front. I don't care about your dude. I don't care about this person, that person. I just want to come over there because I want to. And I think it's cool for me to do so. So let it be. That's the bottom line. I mean, if the person really want to see their children, they're not gonna worry about coming to your house. I don't care if the person is not doing the best. They on hard times. Guess what they're gonna say? I can take the kids to the park and then bring them back. It's just it's not at your house. It's not encroaching and disrespecting your world. They just want to spend time with the kids. But again, when we allow these things to happen, and when we let people come over, you're letting them. And sometimes we do it because, look, if we're honest, sometimes we get in different levels of emotions within our relationship. And sometimes, depending on where you are in the relationship, that person may be able to benefit at the moment. We do a lot of things in the moment. Sometimes we in our feelings. So if a person, because let's just be honest, a lot of times that baby mom or that baby dad, regardless if the situation worked out between you all or not, you got to remember at some point or another time, you were attracted to the person. Somewhere in there is your type. You know, I mean, you wouldn't have had one, two, however many children with the person if you didn't like something about them or feel like there was going to be a family opportunity attached to it. And we're not talking about no mess ups, one night stand where the rubber popped and now I'm pregnant. No, we're talking about legitimate, have your way with me and let's just let it be. You got to be straight with that and say, look, am I being honest with myself? Why did I really allow this person to come over my house during the pandemic when I know they got a woman, number one? I know they have other children. So I'm just going to let them come and infect the house just because I believe in them being a father when they really weren't being much of a father before the pandemic. Got to be honest with yourself. Was that what I was doing, or did I have another agenda, as Robert Lee suggested? And it was a perfect time to execute the agenda without looking desperate or without having to fear being rejected. Because sometimes you may want to say your sons want to spend time with you, but you're so stubborn and prideful sometimes, not you, but people, we can be so stubborn and prideful that we'll be like, I'm not going to say nothing. I mean, he know he got children over here, but a time like this is a perfect opportunity if he asks to say, yeah, you can come and see him. Now think about this. It's already enough relationships out here enough that are quarantined, and they're not even quarantined together. But it's already enough stress as it is, people being away from their people. However, you gonna, in the midst of all the chaos, baby daddy just all of a sudden, like you said, he wants to come over and play house because he has a reason to be there because of the children, not a reason to stay in your house, but a reason over there to see the children. So he want to come over there and play house, and now you're over here, and what now? And so now the rest of your world becomes in question because he has a whimsical moment. Because let's just be straight. Here's the boom boom line. If you're really concerned about your children, you would do what you have to do to be in their life permanently. If it means that much, that's the bottom line. Because you already got half the battle. You got 2+ children with the person, that's half the battle. I'm sure if she didn't think you were an axe murderer or a bank robber or something crazy like that, if you want to work the family out, I'm certain she probably would give you the opportunity of time if you wanted to really legit work the family out. However, because you didn't, and because you chose to go elsewhere, another child and another girlfriend, think about that. Sometimes we got to stop and look at this for a second. And we got to look at the offense being played out in front of our eyes. I'll give you one thing. Okay, I'll give you one child. You know, you got the one child with the person. And whatever the reason, however it happened, you got the one child, such as life. Okay. And people have children every day and they decide this wasn't it. We made a mistake, but we got to do the next best thing and be good parents. But when you allow more than that, somebody was sold into another dream that somebody else didn't sign up for. And sometimes we get involved in these things and we feel as though I'm going to go ahead and let him, he can have his way because I think we're going to be a family. And the person may think at the time, maybe I can be a family. But later on, they realize, I don't know if I really want to be a family. And that is the horrific backdrop to children out of wedlock, because people can practice parenting on you without even total commitment. He's practicing parenting on you without even giving you the total commitment. You going over there and have my kangaroo babies while I continue to commence my havoc in the forest and keep on doing me while you over there on the baby shelf. No. People like that, you got to look at it for what it is. Yes, we have beautiful children that you gave me. Thank you. But I'm not a part of your staff of consideration. I'm not on your staff, because some of these situations, some of these things that happen, people are putting you on staff. That's what's happened. They're putting you on retainer. Let me give you this kid so I can put you on retainer. And retainer simply means I'm gonna toe the line nicely enough. I'll give you money when you need it. I'll take care of this and do this. But I need you to be on retainer for family time. So when I want to say family time, really that just means I want to go in the house, smack my kid's head, give them a hug, and then go in the room with you. That's really what retainer is. If you want to be straight, that's really what's going on. And so you got to be careful to say, you got to be careful how you allow a person to move in your space who bypassed, listen to this, be careful how you allow a person to move in your space that bypassed the ultimate opportunity to make it right. He chose to forego the opportunity to make it right and do right by you. And because he forewent that situation, then guess what? It's no longer on his time or according to his preference. You know, I'm not going to deny you of your children, but you're not going to inconvenience me in my life or what I got going on over here. You'll see them when we establish this, but you're certainly not going to come on my house during pandemic. But before I give you this advice, you got to first be honest with yourself. And we got to go back to what Robert Lee said. Be honest. Did you want him to come over there? That's it. Did you want him to come over there yourself? Because you maybe was bored, it's some attention, and it's familiar. I'm telling you, that familiar thing will kill the best of us. That familiar choice is just a choice. Because at the end of the day, you using them and they using you. It's a familiar convenience. And many of us fall into that. Familiar convenience. Because it's familiar. Look, check this out. A lot of people are over here doing this stuff. A lot of people are over here allowing these things to go down during this pandemic, because you got people, don't get me wrong, people are being on these stay-at-home orders, but they still got sexual needs. And guess what? Rather than continue with the new people that they met or someone they was trying to get to know before the pandemic, they put those friendships on pause and deal with the familiar. That's what they do. You trust me, ask around, ask your lady friends, ask your dudes. When it came to the pandemic, dudes may be a little more animalistic. I don't know. But I know women, if women are meeting if a woman was out there dating and there was this new guy who she wasn't intimate with, when she was talking to him and he was taking her out and she's dating him, and maybe she was thinking about being intimate with him, but she didn't. When it comes to the pandemic and the stay-home order, you know who she's going to entertain giving something to? The familiar old person. Because I know him. If I'm going to take a risk, I can take a risk with somebody I know rather than a person I do know. And many people fall into this, but it happens. So in this situation, that's why I said sometimes you got to check your truths and check your reasons for doing things. Because look, if you were doing something because you wanted to, it was, maybe you was bored, you wanted to entertain, guess what? Then maybe perhaps you should have worked out something with the boyfriend. You could have said, I'm a little bored. I know we got the pandemic, but what can we do? Can we video? Can we do this? Can we watch this and this together online? Something. But to go and to him, he's probably concerned, the boyfriend, because he's thinking, what did I miss? After all this talk, because, look, ladies, y'all can put it on us men. Y'all can make the message real clear. We just have children. I am not messing with him. I do not care. And when you're away from the boyfriend, yeah, you can come see them. You can come see. I told you I don't got time to be playing with my emotions, but don't talk that marriage stuff, okay? Just come see your kids. Click. Then when he get there, stop playing with me. We done all been there and done that. If you're a grown person, if you have children or a child or whatever, you have been through the games. So you got to be honest with yourself. Don't let this scenario mess up your relationship. Unless this pandemic is spelling out another truth to you. If the pandemic is exposing your feelings still for your baby daddy, then be honest with that and work with that from that point. But don't pretend and fool yourself. Because I'm telling you, it speaks volumes. Pandemic visits speak volumes. The visiting that's being permitted during this pandemic speaks volumes, because it's basically saying, guess what? I will risk us. Listen, I'm gonna say this again. I am willing to risk myself my children, and whomever is in this environment for you simply because you are the Father. That says it all. Simply because you are the Father, I'm willing to risk all of this and all of our health. How many of you know people that'll say, oh yeah, I'll die for them. That's how much I love them and my kids and all that. Okay, but that's one of these scenarios where it looks like that. When you say, come on and do this and all that, that pandemic tells it all. If you let people come around you and all that, you are pretty much saying, if it got to go down, I'm okay with it going down with you and me and you being here. Because this sets it back in order, and this sets it back to where you really want to be anyway. That's another thing. We have to get out of the business of wait a minute, I saw something. Miss Pitt said something. What did she say? Yes. Yeah, y'all saying some good stuff in here. The thing is this. We have to get to a place. We have to get to a place where we got to get to a place, y'all, where we have to stop. How do I want to say this? Hold on. We have to stop trying to claim things that have not claimed us. I'll say that again. We got to get to a place in life where we stop trying to claim things that have not claimed us. Sometimes we speak things. Look, sometimes we'll be in these relationships and be like, oh, whatever, because he know who he really feels the most for. I've seen situations where baby mom 2, 3, and over here, and this baby mom, I've heard the stories, seen the stories where they'll be like, oh, you know where you really want to be. You don't know that. Obviously, my irresponsibility has not made it clear enough that I don't even know what I want. So don't say you still love this one. Oh, you still love you. You need to be, I guess you want to be with me. You don't know that. If you have not seen the track record, don't make the declaration. Unless you understand the track record, because the only thing I've shown you clearly was I was irresponsible. And now I'm working on irresponsible partner number 3. That's really it. I'm irresponsible, and now I'm working on irresponsible partner number 3. Because here is the thing. When this is the truth of the matter, unless a man has a Saul to Paul experience, if he is in the business of laying eggs, guess what? When he gets to you, prepare to lay an egg. He's not going to change. If he's in the business of laying an egg, he got an egg 1 over there, 2 eggs over there, and these are the last 2, 3, and 4 relationships. What do you think is going to be different with you? That's what always gets me with this. Why do you think they're not going to lay any more eggs? They didn't get neutered. Laying eggs is what they do. That's what they do. If you've been laying eggs, they're going to lay them with you. So that's why I say, he's on consideration partner number 3 or 4. And here's the truth of the dysfunctional matter. You know why men do this? Because in our dysfunctional minds at times, we think to ourselves, we ignore the dysfunction that we have not corrected, that's laid out the track record before us. We kind of ignore the strength in our track record. And we sit here and we say to ourselves, this is men talking. We say to ourselves, yeah, I know I got them 6 kids, and I love all my kids, but this woman right here, she kind of special, because in our minds, we are trying to recreate our reputation. We're trying to recreate our integrity and say to ourselves, I can have a good woman and a new woman and do right with her without laying eggs. And I can maybe even marry her if she's a good enough woman. But here's the thing. If you have not done the work to prevent you from recreating history, Meaning, if you have not dealt with the internal reasons as to why you frivolously laid eggs in the first place, all you're going to do is get girl. And here's the other part about it. Not only is he in denial, so is the new partner in denial. Because the new partner, how many times, women, have you been with the guy who he got baby mom 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, he got children, and you say, whatever, them bees is dumb, ain't gonna be me. How many times have you said that to the bunny? To the bunny who is going to reproduce? And so before long, before you know, unless you can't have children or something is snipped or whatever, at some point, here comes the reality. And then it's at some point that truth is going to come out, and he's going to end up impregnating you. And and trust me, all it takes is somebody being a little indebted and, you know, a little committed to you, and to sell you that whole thing of we're going to be a good family because I love you. But what's different between you and your other children? Why me? Why you won't be with them? Well, you know, I had to grow up. You still got to grow up. So you still gonna grow up. So now what? So, you know, let's see what Mr. Lee says. He says, ladies, also check this out. Just like Charles, the saying, you see his responsibility or his actions. This man has children after children after children, and he really doesn't spend any time with those children because either you see it. When I say you see it, you don't hear conversation about he took the child to Chuck E. Cheese, he went to the park, anytime spending time with the child, but you are going to lay on your back and thinking that if you produce a child. Wow. So I'm telling you, this is real talk. Nola Thrower says people claim to be grown but just want to play musical beds. Wow. Women are insecure and desperate. That man is going to play that easy card every chance he get because you allow it. And it's dysfunctional and it's unfortunate, but it's the truth. It is something that children taken out of their proper context for who they actually are and what they actually mean to this world and to us can become pawns of convenience. Pawns, Pawns, of convenience. When we don't put children in their proper perspective as to why God allows them to be here and our responsibility to father them and to mother them and steer them, they become to the irresponsible. They become pawns of convenience, because children, if you toe a certain line, children means access. And even though the relationship, you might have did the person wrong and dogged them out and still have a child with them, but because the lady had a child with you or you got a child with her, now you are married to the convenience for a season. Because guess what? The court's going to get involved if the person want to be petty and be saying, they're going to stop me from seeing my child and all that kind of stuff. And now you are married to the convenience. And now you got to, and so as long as that person, guess what? Convenience is the great decision maker. You let a man be in love, or so he thinks, has his heart torn between two women. You make the choice easy by the one who allows the bunny to pop up, makes the choice easy, because now he's saying, well, good. She got a bunny, and I do think she's a phenomenal woman, and she's great, but she's a little weak because she allowed the bunny. And because she's a little weak, I'm going to permanently put her on the family shelf. And I'm going to go over here and continue my quest to find the woman that's going to tell me no. That's the reality. I'm going to put you on the shelf of convenience, family convenience. And I'm going to go over here and continue. I'll say that again, and continue, because that's what happens. I'm going to continue to search for the woman that will tell this sorry man no. I became sorry because I've heard so many yeses, and the yeses came with no requirement of accountability. So I just was able to wreak havoc. But because you don't allow the respect, they place you on the shelf and continue to look for their no. That's their wish list. Let me find the no out here, because somebody's going to put me in my jerk place and tell me you're not going to be over here having children and being irresponsible and no kind of man and half working with me. You're not going to do that. So that's what he wants. Unfortunately, it sounds really horrible, but it is the truth. I'm telling you, that's what he wants. He wants to go out and do that. Demetrius says the men folks said it the other day. He's the classic case of a boy man that some women want to raise and nurture. Correct. Get off of Fantasy Island. That's it. So man, this is pretty. It's not. I didn't think it was going to be that heavy to talk about, but this is pretty. I feel kind of heavy talking about this. This is like, it's like you just. I picked this question because even though it was this young lady's plight, it is a world plight. Like, we got baby mama and daddy drama all around the world, and people deal with this. This might have been her small issue, whatever's going on with them. But this issue happens all over the place. People have children, and sometimes we allow, because at the end of the day, the man can be as irresponsible as he likes. But when the woman fails to take precautions to prevent motherhood, she is saying, I'm willing to risk it. So sometimes the things we are willing to risk are not worth the trial. We risk it. We have the children because sometimes we have an agenda and we think, well, if I can just, it's an age-old trick, but people still pull it. If I can just get this person to, have the child, then something in their morality will wake up and say, you know what, I'm gonna go on over here and do right by little Jimmy and my daughter Jamila, and I'm just going to go ahead and be the father of the year. No, it don't happen like that. It really doesn't. If if the person has not been in parental practice and already being a good dad or whatever, they're not going to likely be a good dad to your child. They're not. And sad enough to say, here's the sad part. Sometimes good fatherhood can appear to be good fatherhood only because we live in a society where his presence alone can appear he's being a good dad, because he's at the moment he's living with baby mama B or C. So it seems like he's good. But the minute he leave that home, the truth will come out. He wasn't doing nothing, no way. I was paying all the rent and everything. He wasn't doing. He's sorry. So he's in the moment when he's there. Women have a way of protecting him. While he's there, you don't want nobody to talk about him, and you don't want to feel like you're dealing with a sorry dude and all that while he's there. But the minute he's gone, the truth is out, and he wasn't doing nothing, no way. He wasn't about nothing, no way. That's the bottom line of the truth, is really how things really go down. So we just have to, be a little more cautious. I know none of us are perfect. Everybody seems to have made these decisions at some point. The people got children. It's the reality. But going forward, to those who maybe have not found themselves in these situations, I'm telling you, if you don't have to do it, don't have children out of wedlock. It was never designed for that. And it is the reason some of our children are having to fight from the rear, have to bring it up from the rear, because we have robbed them of their opportunity at wholeness, because we decided to parent amidst covenant. When you decide to parent amidst covenant, you rob your children of wholeness. And that wholeness comes, not to say both parents have to be perfect, but when they are blessed under covenant, there is a certain measure of grace bestowed to that house, right? And so as a result of that, there is, God makes up the slack. He makes up the stagger to where those areas lack. But, you have to give him that first. You got to come to the table and come to the table with that first. But these little situations where we do these things, and this one got this father over here and this father, or the unfortunate thing is, and I always really find it disheartening when sometimes the person will have 3 and 4 by one 3, 4, and 5 by a person and still don't be with the person. You got 3, 4, 5, and we're not talking about a divorce where somebody was married and had the children. We talking about just flat out baby mom and dad. You done had the 4 and 5 children by the one guy, and he still decides not to man up or not to just say, I'm going to, be with her. So look, growing up, we haven't got no anomaly on what people should do and how to run men through the mill to get them to say, is he done yet? He look like he'll be out on Saturday. He should be good and well done on Saturday to do right. We haven't created that. No one has come up with that invention. They should come up with the machine and call it the man up. We put them in on the problematic men. We put them in on one side and let them go in there for a week, 7 days. When they come out, girl, thank God for the man up machine because he is good to go now. that'll be $1 billion machine and then some. If you can find a machine called the man up and put men through it and all those impurities and ego issues and things where we have fragile egos, all those things will be corrected and we'll come out on the other side like we should. It's a good thought to wish on. But nonetheless, all I'm saying, only thing I can take out of this with the lady, with this situation with the kids, is be honest with yourself. It's certainly nothing wrong with allowing your children to see the father. I commend you on that. But given the circumstances and given sometimes how with women, sometimes women can be caught at a moment where they may not feel as beautiful. They may not feel as desired in their relationship and all these different things. So sometimes when you get thrown breadcrumbs from other angles, sometimes it's like it's a breadcrumb, let me take it. And so in the case of this situation, it's a baby daddy. So you feel like it's a legitimate breadcrumb that you got children by. So it's okay, but it's really not okay because baby daddy or not, you got to say to yourself, baby daddy or not, this is a person that failed to choose me and them. You got to say that this person failed to choose me and them. So as a result of them failing to choose me and them, you don't get the preference. You don't. I have to reserve my life for the one that will choose us. I have to reserve my life for the one that will choose us. And that means I'm not allowing you to be placed in situations where you risk that. You run the risk of me losing that. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, a cognizant-minded man that's watching that decision, he's probably a little leery and he's like, this is a little shady, or this right here is a little questionable. This just seemed like both people wanted family time. He wanted it and she approved it. That's what it seems like. That's what it looks like to the man on the outside. And so even if the other guy is the intended, believe me, he is doing his glasses like this now, looking circumspect because it's a little questionable. And it's, don't get mad. I hope don't be mad. Just being honest. But it looks questionable to the man on the outside. He's looking at the situation and saying, was this a legit visit? It didn't make sense for him to have to come visit during quarantine when he doesn't live there. He don't live there. His name ain't on their deed or lease. If the man don't live there, he didn't have to come there to see his children during quarantine. He could have saw them, caught them on the phone, or could have saw them on the video device. So when it comes to in-person visits, I'm sorry, but I am of the persuasion that it's probably less about the children wanting him to be there and more about you. So that's it. I was going to do question number 2, but I done already went. How long have I been on here? 45 minutes. I'm not going to hold you guys long today. I'll do the other question about the impasse another time. It's just pretty much a relationship is in turmoil, and they're about to call it quits, and they just wanted, some help on that. But anyway, hopefully I was able to help the young lady. Don't stop sending in questions because you didn't like the show. Hopefully, sometimes if we're honest, we don't like digesting opinions that could possibly be led to truth. And so when the truth hits, sometimes it doesn't feel that good. And so, I'm I'm just trying to help you. I'm just giving you the perspective from the outside so that you can have the relationship that you are deemed, so that you can have the one where the person is valuing you. Because like I said, if you didn't take nothing from this, just take the one thing. He had however many children, I don't know how many children, but if he has more than one child with you, he had, as count the number of children and count the number of instances he had a chance to make good on it. And because he didn't choose to make good on it, he was letting you know in his mind, you're a good lady. I like you. Our physical exchange was great. Because a lot of times, let me tell you something. Sometimes some children don't come from a good relationship. They come from great exchanges. Children don't always just say to children. We always think that, oh, that's my baby daddy. You know how far we go back. We used to be close. No, y'all have children as a result of great sex. Has nothing to do with a relationship. We just frequently had sex, spent a lot of time together, called ourselves boyfriend and girlfriend, and had children. Because when you make them soul ties, sometimes we don't want to let them go. Sometimes they feel comfortable. Sometimes our self-esteem is tied to those soul ties and then some. So you just got to be honest with yourself and just be straight. If you have a new guy that's dealing with you and he's digging you, the fact that he's concerned about the baby daddy coming over there, he's concerned because he's trying to consider you. That's why he's concerned. Listen to that again. He's only concerned because he's trying to consider you. But when you raise his level of concern to that level about this father, you're making the consideration rocky. He's trying to consider you. That's why he's like, look, I don't care about your children and all this kind of stuff. I just want to deal. I'm just trying to be with you. But I can't be with you if I'm a placeholder and he's your preference. I can't be with you if I'm a placeholder and he's your preference. You have to make the distinction. Only you know the distinction and the truth to that, and go from there. But don't fool yourself into don't fool yourself into a commitment or even a marriage if you know you have not been convinced. If you have not been convinced that you are over this baby daddy or whomever, if you have not been convinced, don't make a decision. Make decisions once your heart is convinced. If your heart is not convinced, don't make a decision to move. Because this other guy, see, here's the other thing about men. Like what I said a second ago about the guy and how he's a little perplexed right now. The boyfriend of yours is perplexed. Is because he's looking to consider you, like I said. But what you don't want to activate in the man is you don't want his sincere consideration to turn to overt competition. I'll say it again. You don't want his sincere consideration to turn into overt competition. That means now that he knows you are allowing baby daddy play dates at the house, now what was legitimate and sincere to him is going to turn flesh and physical. And now he's going to be like, well, I was thinking I can come over and do something with the kids too. And, me and you. And when you tell him, and look, here's a smack in the face. Baby daddy got the permission to come over and risk the whole house life with COVID. Let's take it to the extreme. Baby daddy has the permission to come over to the house and put the whole house at risk. But if the boyfriend say he want to come over there, well, they got this thing. They said we're going to be on lockdown for another month. That is offensive at the highest level, flat out, because you can risk it for him, but you can't risk it for me. Talk about instantaneous placement. That puts you instantly in your place. It lets you know you are here, but you're not here. You might be a little bit here. You might be in there, but you ain't here. Listen, you in there, but you ain't in here. I don't care about being in there if I can't be in here. I can go in plenty of theirs. At this point in life, I need to be in here. If I ain't in here, bump there. So the point is, that's what it is. You got to say to yourself, look, be real with yourself and be honest. Don't cause the boyfriend to start changing up his ascension towards you and turn it into competition. Because by nature, that's who men are. We are competitors. We are hunters by nature. So if you put us in a position to compete, we're going to compete. So, but in competition sometimes comes confusion. You don't want confusion. So if you want clarity, allow him to consider you in peace and don't drum up the competition by infusing this baby daddy into the situation, because then it's going to become about them two and you're going to be lost in the equation. And when one of them wins, you're really going to feel the blunt, because when the baby daddy chases off the boyfriend, he's going to be like, you ain't need him nowhere. Okay, baby, so we're going to take the kids to the carnival? Well, I ain't saying I was going to do that. I'm about to go back home to my girlfriend now. Remember, you still on the shelf, but thanks for letting me run him off. That's the reality of it. And if the boyfriend were to win, here's the flip side of it. If the boyfriend were to win, he will chase that thing all the way down, frustrate the baby daddy, come over there enough time with his hair cut fresh, his cologne smelling good, so the boyfriend be like, oh, so now you messing with dude, because he can't do it so much because he got a girlfriend at home. So his frustration can keep on trying to see the kids and playing games, but if you let the boyfriend keep coming in, after a while, the baby daddy gonna fall back, and you're gonna be thinking, oh, you care about me that much to run him off to be with me? And he's gonna be like, I did, but because you was on that bull, I don't even got respect for you. I just wanted to run dude off. Peace. That can happen. So that's the danger of drumming up competition. Let the consideration remain pure and sincere. Don't push this thing into a place to make the man start competing, because that's what men do by nature. Ladies, when you bring men into situations trying to make them jealous of the other one or bringing up this one to the other one, you are drumming up a competition. And because that man is going to exude so much energy and testosterone, after a while, it's going to be less about you and just about them two. And when the scuffle is over, so are you. You don't want that. So, all right. Thank you guys for tuning in to Unscripted today. And as usual, let's continue to heal the world one heart at a time. Again, I feel really bad about this lady, but because the kid, you know why I keep saying I'm going to girl. I'm sorry. Anyway, I only got like 6 minutes left. But anyway, the only reason why I feel bad is because kids today have it hard enough. They do. Like, you know, there was times a lot of us went out here and we just went buck random, having children, didn't have no marriage, just out here just being willy-nilly and just wild. And the children has had to suffer as a result. I don't care how many clothes you bought them, you make them look good on graduation day, Easter Monday, it don't matter. They're not whole because they are not receiving DNA nourishment from both parents at the same time. They have been, at best, I don't care if that father come every weekend and pick them up, he's not there 100% of the time to provide those parental nutrients that children need from both parents together. The reason why the whole point of having children when you are married is because the children have a better, stronger chance at thriving forward because they are getting dual nutrients of parenting from both parents. So they have a greater chance to be great and succeed. I mean, I'm not saying that, you know, single parents can't do something, because sometimes the children can take matters into their own hands, like so many of them do. And they say, look, I know I had a broken start, but my mom did her best, and I'm going to go out here and be all that I can be. So if you got one of them children, great. But a lot of times, and if we're honest, some of them don't end up like that. Some of them end up on Skid Row in somebody's gang, alternative, loss of identity, and all kinds of stuff because they are broken. And that's the truth. And so that's a disservice sometimes we do when we have children outside of covenant or marriage. So we have to do better so we can be better overall. That's all. And it's okay if we've already made the mistake and we've already put ourselves in these predicaments. Fine. You still can change the way you act on things going forward, which is what I was talking about with the father. It doesn't mean he has to go to get victim number 3 and 4 and have a child with her. If he wants to be better, he can change today and don't have to do it and go out and have more children if he decides he don't want to live like that no more. That's all. All right. Well, y'all take care and have a great weekend. I don't know. Dr. Cheryl was talking about trying to get me to do something tomorrow, but I don't know if I will or not. Weekends typically like when I try to, relax my brain. I've been having a stressful week. But anyway, I'll see. I'll see. If not, I'll be back. If not, I'll be back on Monday for sure, y'all. I'm trying to put something together nice. All right. Y'all have a great weekend and take care of yourself. Be safe. Love you.